What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you behind the scenes access to one of my private coaching calls that I do with my clients that we're doing services for, where we help them to close deals. So if you're a coach, a consultant, a speaker, an author, or somebody that's doing lead generation and you want to know how that you can have more success, I'll give you a hint. It's not more leads. It's this. Without spending an extra dollar, without changing anything else, this single variable will help you scale your operation. And I can prove it to you. Right after this coaching call that I did that you're about to get access to a snippet from, these people responded to me and they closed a high ticket deal and everybody was screaming praise after the session. So there's a screenshot of that. And without further ado, let's dive into the video. But wait, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below if this is valuable. I'll see you on the other side. Let's dive into the video. All right, so I have my team compile a list of different studies, okay? Some of these studies are big studies like Harvard Business Review. There's one in here that was done by MIT, but it's kind of indirect. It's in here as well. And we basically compiled all the data from these different studies to help people understand where they might be losing leads. So the first things first is speed wins. How often do you like working with a company that's slow? Like nobody does. Like why does everybody hate going to the DMV? Because it's slow. It takes forever. We say speed to lead, but lately I've been saying speed to everything for my team. Speed to task, speed to request, speed to, like everything speed, right? And that's going to help. And there's actually data to significantly show this now. So the one I like to start with here, I'll kind of jump around because there's a certain way that I like to think about these. So the first one is done by Vendasta. You have an 80% decrease in your odds of qualifying the lead after 5 minutes has elapsed, okay? We see this in a lot of places. A lot of us already know this. But actually quantifying that, 80% decrease in your odds of qualifying the lead. So imagine you get 100 leads and you wait an hour to call them. And out of those 100 leads, you only get a hold of 20 of them because you waited too long. It's still not terrible. But imagine if instead of that, you could get a hold of 60, 70, 80. You could get a hold of like a giant percentage of them. I've personally tried this myself in a lot of different models. I've tried it with my clients' businesses. We do lead gen for hundreds of local businesses and then also for coaches and consultants. And we've proven this out. Like if you call an inbound lead within the first 5 minutes, chances are they're going to answer. And then you're going to be in the conversation and you're going to show your professionalism, and they're so much more likely to be primed and ready to buy. And so this is the single-handed switch that you can make instantly that's going to give you a huge impact. You don't have to run any more ads. You don't have to spend any more money. You just literally have to get whoever's calling the leads now to call them within 5 minutes. Okay, so that is a really, really huge thing. But if you're not currently doing this, don't worry, because according to Inside Sales, 73% of leads never get followed up with at all. I've seen this. I don't know if you guys have ever put in an inquiry form somewhere for a website for either a free training or maybe it's for like one time I was going to get ceramic coating on my car, put in a bunch of forms. Nobody followed back up with me. It's because sometimes you don't even know where your leads are going. It's like, where are your leads going? What's the lead processing situation look like? Lead comes in off your website, then what? A lot of people don't know. Okay, if you already have this process mapped out, you're a little bit further along than a lot of people. And this process is everything, okay, to get you the most amount of sales. 30% of prospects will go to a competitor website if not contacted. That's obvious. In coaching, you don't have that as much because they're more sold on the personal brand. But maybe it's between you and another company, and the other company is just better, faster at following up, and they don't have any better offer. Maybe they like you. Maybe they like Certified Health Nut better. But this other team was more on the ball. They got in with the person. They wanted to spend the money. It was just about who could get to it first. Yeah, this is another one that confirms the 80% one. This is from leadresponsemanagement.org. This is actually the study that was done indirectly from MIT. I don't really know the details of how it worked, but I know it was an MIT study and it's leadresponsemanagement.org. Pretty sure they have all the findings published. The study is very interesting. One stat that we pulled from there is you're 10 times less likely to have leads respond if your outreach takes more than 5 minutes. That just confirms the same thing with the Vendasta study. So you'll see a topic of a trend here where the 5 minute rule, okay? Hey, sorry to interrupt. I hope that you're getting a ton of value from the snippet of the behind the scenes from one of my private coaching calls that I do with the clients that we're doing services for. If you want to find out what kind of services we offer, how you can get access to these calls, or you want to connect to some degree, there should be a link down below. If you're a coach, a consultant, a speaker, an author, go to roaz.co and you'll be able to connect with us there. There's an application and you can find out how to fill your next webinar, how to fill your next live event, how to fill your pipeline full of hot leads, and then how to actually get the system and the strategy and the mindset behind it that's going to allow you to have success. So I'll let you jump back into the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Sasha, go ahead. You got a question? You can come off mute and we can talk about it.
Yeah, so we've had that discussion internally, and one of the things that came up was since we're giving away freebie, a PDF with like 9 pillars of health, one concern or one thing was I'd like to call them after they've had time to actually study it or look at the PDF. And sometimes people, when you call them right away, they're like, I haven't even looked at it. So could you speak to that? Does it still hold true for that case?
Yeah, that is such a great point. We see so many people wrestle with this. Well, why don't I just let the automations go and then get the email and get on the PDF? We see this all the time. So the way the call is framed is super important. When I call that person, Sasha, I'm going to call them. Hey Sasha, what's going on? How you doing today? Hey, look, I saw that you just downloaded our 9 pillars of health and I'm super excited for you. I don't want to bother you or anything, but usually when people reach out to us, it's because of something else. And if I can understand just a little bit about you, then we've got some other free trainings and I just want to make sure you get access to those too. Do you have like 2 minutes to tell me like what made you want to reach out and get this guide in the first place? And a lot of times they'll open up. Like it's gonna be a couple people that are like, oh man, come on. But most of the time, the way that I always frame it, because I'll double dial people. Not always, but if they reached out to me and I paid for them as a lead, I wouldn't double dial on a lead magnet. Like that's kind of cringy. It's like, yo, bro, I just want the information. But regardless, like if I'm following up with somebody, it's a little bit more aggressive to get them on the line because I paid for the lead. If you're running Facebook lead gen or Instagram lead gen or you're running ads from a platform, you're literally paying for this person. They reach out to you. Why do they reach out to you? Because they're requesting the info. And so I take it and I bring it into all my companies that it is your duty to get them the information that they requested as fast, as prompt, and as easily as possible. So when I get on that call, and they tell me, they're like, well, I've followed Certified Health Nut for a long time. I really like his stuff. And the 9 pillars of health is like a cool thing. And a lot of times, like we find high ticket deals from this all the time. And the way we do it is just by this. Well, man, one thing that we've found from talking to a lot of people is we send them these PDFs and life is just so busy. It's just hard to implement, execute on those strategies. And most of the time, we put a lot of hard work into this and people don't even make it to the end. And it's not their fault at all. It's just the way it goes in life and we're busy. And so what we found is people reach out for the guide, but really there's something bigger in their life they're trying to solve. Is there something that you currently doing coaching? Like you kind of get into the discovery call then. The way to get into to kind of slip into a discovery call is you have to make sure on the front end when you call them first that you tell them, hey, the reason we're reaching out is because we wanted to get you while you're here, while you're looking at the guide, and just let you know we have some other free trainings that just came out that I can get you access to as well if it's even relevant for you. So I want to make sure it's a good fit. Do you have like 5 minutes? Do you have 10 minutes for where we can like discuss so I can make sure that I can get you the right resources? We've got hours and hours of calls, and I just want to make sure you get the value that you requested when you reached out to us today. Is that fair? Yeah, it's super fair. I can't believe you guys are calling me to talk to me about this. When I just reach out for a guide, like people will actually err to the side of it's very professional and very, very nice the way you guys handled it. It shows that you're actually there, that you're real people, and it will skyrocket your booking rate. Like, you have the 10-minute call, and then you're like, hey man, so I just wanted to be respectful of your time. I love this conversation. I don't want it to end. Dude, you seem awesome. I'm so glad you reached out. I'm so glad we're connected. By the way, you got to come to our event event. You just make a buddy. Like I don't have any like I've been trained by a bunch of different salespeople, and the conclusion that I've come to in my own is you do business with people you like to work with, and if you don't match the same frequency or energy or whatever you want to call it, it's not going to work anyways. So don't try to, swim upstream on somebody that's not even a good fit. But the people that are a good fit, just become buddies with them. And not in a manipulative way. Like I'm not into like word tracks and like, manipulation and all that. Like I'm really into like authentic, genuine connection. Does the soul on the other side of this phone seem like somebody that's genuine? Does it seem like I can help them? Because if so, I'm going to carry on the conversation, but I need to be respectful of the time that I sent. If I ask them if they have 10 minutes, I set a timer for 10 minutes and I make sure that at the 10-minute mark, I say, hey man, I love this conversation. I want to keep going with you. You seem so great, but dude, I asked if you had 10 minutes and I just want to be respectful of your time. Time is our most valuable asset. The time that we spend right now is time that we could be doing anything else. And so I really appreciate you spending this time today with me. But hey, man, while we're here, let's make the best use of this 10 minutes that we spent. Let's actually take a step forward. You mentioned to me that you're trying to do X, Y, and Z, and actually we help people to do 1, 2, and 3 with our easy 1 ABC process. Look, I don't know if it's a good fit, but I want to continue this conversation and mostly just an excuse to get on a Zoom call with you. Would you be around this week to jump on a Zoom call with, if it's the same person, then with me or with my team member Sasha? He's really, really good. Your situation sounds like similar to a lot of the ones that people come to us for, and we can help you optimize your biohealth, your gut biome. Like I don't really know the ins and outs of what you guys offer, but you kind of give them a high level rundown, the what and the why. Here's what we do, here's why we do it. And when they ask the how, you're like, man, actually, I don't even know that well. Like, I don't understand it. That's like better for Sasha, and like he'll break it all down for you on the Zoom call we do. So we do a Zoom call with people that we think could be a good fit, and we think you'd be a great fit for that. And if you have a way to call it, like some people call it like a obviously everybody says discovery call and strategy call. That's like the most easy ones. But if you have like a term or a name for your call, like this is the blueprint call, this is the time accelerator call, whatever it is, like it's marketing is getting you get a term and then get it to stick, and then your whole team internally refers to it and externally people can be drawn to it. So you don't need that. You could just literally call it a Zoom call. But if you have like a cool way to call it, and you got to give them something too. You have to legally bribe people all the time in marketing, in sales, reciprocity, and it's just it is what it is. Like we're creatures of habit, and so if you tell me that I'm gonna get on a Zoom call and you're gonna get something from me, you're gonna pitch me, I'm out. I'm nowhere near. If you tell me you're gonna give me something, like we're gonna pull up my freaking chart, my sun, moon, or whatever it is. Like we got this test, we got this. Oh, and by the way, when you show up on that call, he's gonna unlock the access to our training portal. Like there's got to be some kind of, and it's all got to be legitimate. Okay, you have to make sure everything's true. Like marketing, people lie in marketing too much, and it's illegal, first of all. But secondly, it's just like people just know people don't believe you. It's like, so if you say like, oh, this is a limited time thing and it's not a limited time thing, well, why would you say it? Don't say it. But if it actually is a limited time thing, you need real scarcity. You need real things that you can point to. So if it's like, hey man, when you get on the Zoom call, we've got this training portal. I don't actually have like the right kind of access to bring people on. My job is just making the first connection. But when you jump on with Sasha, he'll get you onboarded onto the training platform. It's totally free and you'll get the free access. And then if you want, he'll show you how to get access to our paid program. But there's no hard pressure. Like we're just going to connect with you. We do events, we do online stuff. Like we just want to make a connection. Is that fair? Cool. So I got Tuesday at 1 o'clock, boom, boom, bam, and then you got that, right? So that's like the intro call. I think people have referred to it in the past as a triage call. I'm not really sure why, but people call it a triage call. Um, yeah, I've heard that term a lot, and I've always done it, but I didn't know it was called that. So, but yeah, I mean, somebody reaches out to you for a free guide. They don't want the free guide. They don't actually care about the PDF. They want the result of whatever it's supposed to bring. So you use the PDF to get the person, but it's the same person that would, if you just said, hey, if I offered to do this done for you service, completely hands off, I offered to coach you, I offered to help you, the same person that would click on that will click on the lead magnet, but you're going to pay so much less per lead that economically it allows you to scale. Like we get $1 lead, $2 leads at scale, and we see a lot of companies, it's actually a detriment. The companies that get $15 leads, $20 leads, they take them way differently than the guys that get $1 and $2 leads. Like you'll get hundreds of leads, and what I call it's like when a baby has too much milk and they get kind of like milk drunk. It's like you get lead drunk. You got too many leads, and nobody's really working them the right way. So sometimes it can be a detriment if you have a really low lead cost, but you have to realize like this is a huge opportunity. Like you're getting people to give you their name, their email, their phone number, and permission to reach out to them for $1, for $2. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that was completely unheard of in any type of advertising medium that you could ever sign up for. So yeah, like you got to make the most of them. And some people, they are gonna just, they're gonna blow up on you. They're gonna tell you, why are you calling me? You guys bothering me? Blah 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 blah. They're not a good fit. Or maybe it's a bad time. Like that same guy is probably gonna click on another ad later, and he might buy, and it might just have been a bad day. Okay, so I'm gonna switch out my camera battery real quick, because it's about to die, and then we'll go right back into this. So just give me 2 seconds. Sasha, does that make sense
Thanks
though?
for that answer, by the way. That was an awesome answer. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, brother. Yeah, we get that all the time. People are like, hey, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to annoy them. And it's like, no, people want to be, they don't want to be bothered, but people want to be served. People want to be seen. People want to be heard. And these things you can do, and you can build in your sales team. And you got to make sure the guy on the front end is like, whoever's calling him, he's got to be intentional. He's got to be a caring person or she. It can't be somebody that's like, hey, saw you reached out. Like, are you looking to do some coaching with us? Or like what kind of services would you be interested in? It sounds like it doesn't happen, but this happens all the time. Like people are so out of touch sometimes with what they're actually doing in the process. Like, I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know what to point to, but sometimes people just like they don't understand that there's another human on the other side of that line.
Yeah, that's the one point we're good on.
Yeah, no, yeah, you guys are great at that. Yeah. Um, and people say this all the time. They're like, you know, B2B advertise. Is it B2B? B2B, you need your B2B business to business scripts or B2C or business to consumer. The only type of advertising I do is P2P, person to person. That's it. It's a human. So like a lot of clients, they'll be like, oh, all these leads are X, Y, Z. And I'm like, bro, no. They're like, none of them answer. And it's like, okay, well, when are you calling them? And they're like, I'm calling them. I'm trying. I've been busy. I haven't really got. I'm going to call them all today. This is all the time the case, and so that's why we start with these with the PDF and the stats so that we know that we have the right process because you won't even get into those phone calls if you're waiting an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours before you call those people. And I'm just going to pull those stats back up so we can go through those. Does anybody else have any questions or anything while I do that? Okay. Let me just grab this.
By the way, this is all gold, so I really appreciate this, and I think it's going to help our efforts very much.
Good, good. I'm so glad. That's why we're doing it because we see that there's like, people hire us for marketing and we love doing marketing. Marketing's so fun. But then they hire us for marketing and they really want sales. And the only way to get sales is like we meet in the middle. So marketing has to work really hard to get the right people on the line, and it's so important that sales is going to meet with that same force. And you're going to call six people, and they're all six going to be the wrong one. The probability factor really comes in with lead generation. So if you flip a coin 10 times, you're going to get a disproportionate reality to how that coin flip actually works in terms of probability because you have such a tiny sample size. A lot of times, like 10 phone calls is kind of a lot of work. Like for a person, like If you're calling and it's like a 2 minute call and then like the guy answers 5 minutes and then you call again, it's kind of a lot of work. It's kind of a grind. And so you'll call 10 people, and if that sample size is the wrong people, it will discourage most salespeople that don't know this information that I'm sharing. So if you flip a coin 10 times, you might land on heads 7 times. And you might say, oh, this coin, it only lands on 7. All these flips are heads. This coin 7 out of 10 times is heads. This one leans towards heads. But if you flipped it 1,000 times, and we know this from science, it would actually be about 50-50. And so you don't know the probability, you don't know what percentage of your leads are actually higher intent, higher quality until you work through that whole sample of leads. And then over time, you start to be able to predict, like, it's about 30% is like a real legitimate lead. And that 30% is great, right? So those are kind of the things that you got to be playing with too, is sample sizes. Like, people will call, and a lot of times people will be like, oh, I didn't call the leads from yesterday, so let me go call these ones, and they're not calling the hot ones. So it's just all out of order. So the best thing that you can do is maximize on that first 5 minutes. And what I like to add too in that is, hey man, I saw you just downloaded our guide. We're super happy. Brother, do you have 2 minutes? Like, can you explain to me, like, why did you want this guide? Why? And listen to them. God gave us one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Okay, today it's like I got 2 mouths because I'm doing the coaching and stuff, but you have to listen, okay? And they'll tell you why. Oh man, well I'm just scrolling. I just like to get PDFs. Oh, so you just go around all day just grabbing PDFs, and do you read them? Challenge, like, what was the intention? What caught your eye on the ad? This will help you skip over like 90% of the BS and get right to the core of it. Like, oh man, I saw the ad and I just been feeling super unhealthy lately, and my wife left me and my dog, whatever, and this and that, and you're like, oh, whoa, we're getting a trauma dump, but hey, this guy needs our help. And we're happy to help, right? That's what we're looking for in this business, is we have the willingness and ability to serve. So let me bounce back up here, guys, and share these ones with you. So 78% of customers, this is from Lead Connect, and this is more on the local business side for this stat specifically, but 78% of customers buy from the company that responds to their inquiry first. Okay. People don't generally go around putting in inquiries in different coaching companies. They're more like sold on the brand, like they like Certified Health Nut, they've been following him. So it's not that, like, this stat might not always be the case, but you're not going to close anybody you don't follow up with, right? 7 times more likely to qualify leads when reaching out within 1 hour as opposed to just 1 hour later. So Harvard found this stat out. If you can't do the 5-minute rule, that's okay. Not really, but it'll be okay. Like, you'll still get deals, you'll still get sales, and you'll still make it economical and profitable on that end, but it won't be as good as it could be. You won't squeeze all the juice out of it like you should. And so think about that. It's like, if you can't hit them in 5 minutes, it's a mandatory. We have to hit them within an hour. Within an hour is still good. Like, if you call me within an hour, I really see you as a professional company. Honestly, like, I think people, we're in the age of ultimate commission breath salespeople that just want to sell you for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And people are tired of it. People can sniff it out. People can tell genuineness from non-genuineness. But most of the time, people just want a professional company, handles their inquiry, takes good care of them. And a lot of times, sales is an open book test. They'll tell you how they want to buy, what they want to buy, why they want to buy, and what they want to buy. But you just have to pay attention to the notes as you go through. And then when it comes to the test, that's the close, you're going to be able to close them down. So, and then this Lead Simple study is also validating the same information. I try to find multiple studies that say the same thing for you guys. 21 times more effective when calling within 5 minutes of prospect's first contact as opposed to calling after 30 minutes. So you see the trend there. 7% of companies, only 7% of companies respond to leads within 5 minutes. Do you want to be the top 7% instantly? You just follow up with your leads within 5 minutes. And following up via text is great. Following up via email is great. You want to make sure you do those like right away. But the personalized phone call, logistically, a lot of companies can't manage it because it's hard to run a sales team. It's hard to run setters. It's hard to do all this. But when you do it and when you do it successfully, I mean, it's worth all the while because you're going to squeeze the most out of the most juice out of these leads. So, while 55% of companies, so over half of companies respond in 5 or more days. So look at me selling local lead gen, and I got clients coming to me saying the leads are bad, and they haven't called the leads in 5 or more days. And this happens all the time. And the way that we figured this out is we put in what's called sneaky leads. Okay, and you can do this for your team too. You put in a lead, and it looks like a really qualified lead. Thomas Smith makes 50,000 a month or whatever form questions you have. Like you fill out a qualified form, you fill it out, you send it in, you open up your phone, you go to this clock, you go to the stopwatch, and you sit there and you wait. You wait for your team. And it's best if you do this while you're recording yourself. So then you're like, all right, you guys say that all the leads are bad. I'm going to find out that today. Thomas Smith, you put in because it's really everybody, we all want to default blame, including me. Like that's what I'm literally trying to do by saying, no, it's because you're not calling the leads. But there are factors that are within our control and there's things outside of our control. It's completely outside of our control if somebody has enough money to buy, if somebody even wants to buy, if they're able to buy. But it is within marketing's control to get people there that have an interest, have an intent, and where they're at in the funnel, it can't be controlled. It's going to be different. It's going to be random. It's going to be sporadic. People always say, like, how can I get more quality leads? And it's like quality comes through volume. By getting more volume, you're going to get more quality because every 10 leads, it doesn't matter where they come from. There's only going to be 3 or 4 that you're going to deem as quality. So you got to make sure that you don't get into this mindset that you're looking for a perfect lead. The businesses that have always done the best with me, they say, hey, give us every lead. I'm like, what kind of qualifiers do you want? Can you get phone numbers? I'm like, like name, email, phone number is the first thing that we're gonna get, of course. He's like, that's all I need. That's all I need. Send us all those thousands. We'll take them all. And they take them all and they work them hard. I work with some car dealerships, so they're great with them. But the ones that are the worst are like, no, I need somebody who's ready to buy, credit app accepted. They've got $50,000 liquid. They want to join our highest level program. They sign up without much conversation. It's like this isn't a build your own freaking sales, close. Like you have to just work with people, communicating. So all those things play together into this. And the last stat that I'm going to share with you guys here, and this is the one that the elite companies are going to do. And most people will never do this. 391% increase in lead conversions when responding within 1 minute. Almost everybody will answer within 1 minute because they're like, what the heck? I'm still on their website. Like I'm still on the website and I'm getting a call from them. And I'm like, hello? I've literally called like GMs of dealerships. They came in as a lead. Like one time I was up late coming back from a conference and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been driving all day and I got this inbound lead and this guy's like, hey, I own, like on the form, he's like owns 3 dealerships, super busy. And I'm like, well, he's up, I'm up. And I called him and he's like, hello. And I'm like, hey man, sorry to call you so late. I know it's like 2 a.m. right now, but I know you're busy. You got 3 dealerships and I bet nobody's ever called you after 2 a.m. before when you put in a form. He's like, who are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the owner of this company. You're just checking out. You might be on my site still. He's like, oh, the Shift Social? And I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm on here, man. And here, it's the thing. I just wanted to appreciate your time and respect the fact that you reached out to me and just honor that right now and see if we could get something moved into place. Last thing I want to happen is you get busy, I get busy, and we miss each other. But I know right now, right here, it's supposed to be here for a reason. I'm up, you're up. So why don't we set up a time for tomorrow? And we set up the time for tomorrow, and he got on, and his whole vibe, like we hadn't met face to face, like on Zoom yet. So like when I got on with him, his whole vibe was just like, whatever this kid has to sell, I'm gonna buy. Like he's funny and interesting. Like it was a pattern interrupt. Like you have to grab people by the by the noggin kind of and like shake them up. Like whoa, whoa, whoa. Like a good salesperson would kind of like they kind of like smack you in the face with like belief and power and professionalism and not word tracks and objection handlings and the typical framing like, oh, you say you need to think about it. Well, what exactly do you need to think about? It's like, dude, that's so corny. Like you just got to talk to people. So try these things. Try to call within 5 minutes. If not, make it an hour. And if you want to be the elite of the elite, bang those leads right when you see the notification come in. So that's all on the process and system side, but let's talk about the technical side. So there's a couple things that you need to consider when you're breaking down speed to lead. And number one is representative response time plus lead processing time equals lead response time. So one thing that you need to make sure with your CRM or whatever you're using is that your lead processing time is instant. So if you send in a lead and it doesn't come in for like a few minutes, that's really, really bad. You need to switch CRMs or you need to talk to your tech team or something because that's a serious issue. So the lead processing time, it should be instant. Like right when somebody submits the form, it should be right in your CRM. And you need to make sure that a notification is sent to the right people, that the lead is tagged to the right people, and that the right people are on call. There's numerous ways that you can do different things in CRMs, like round robins. You can do, lead assignment based on who's available. Different things that you can set up. So talk to your tech team. If reach out in the Slack channel if you need help with making sure those things are dialed in on processing time. And then representative response time. That's going to be an internal operation and management thing where you make a point to tell your team like, hey, it's within 5 minutes or no deal, like around the clock. Like, guys, we're gonna get way more busy. We're gonna bring on like a few more people, but like we have so many leads, like we just got to be banging leads. And you should just have people like sitting down, like talking the same thing over and over. Like, if you're gonna be a setter on my team, I want you on the phone for like 8 hours a day. If I got thousands of leads, like I've worked with a lot of setters and they'll make like 20, 50 calls a day. And you're like, bro, I know you were taking breaks in the middle of that. Like, if you're going to work as an appointment setter and you're going to make good money, like, it's different if they're doing commission only or whatever. But if you're making good money for us, you should be like almost like glued to a cubicle. Like, this should be like, it's good work. Like, they should be getting good pay. I'm not saying like, slave, like whip them or anything, but like they should be freaking on the phones. Like, you should have a lot of talk time in your CRM. And if you don't, you got to look at that process. Record your calls, check with your state. Okay, each state has different laws regarding call recording. And if your state is a one party consent state, then that means that you can record the call without asking them because it's a one party consent and you can be the one party that consents to recording the call. So that's awesome. It's really easy to do in the CRM as well. And then it doesn't play like a message. It's like this call is being recorded. But if you live in a two-party consent state, like I think New York is one, California, of course. If you live in those states, then you have to disclose it, and then just a little beep. This call is being recorded for quality insurance purposes. People don't really care that much. They've heard that so many times. So you want to make sure that you review those calls. And the things that you're judging the call on is obviously like if the response is in order, then you're judging it on tonality, energy, the way that they led the conversation, how easy they were on the person, how much pressure they took off. Look, in every exchange you're either putting pressure on, you got to do this, man. Hey, this is it, or you're taking pressure off. And when you first get on a call, you want to just start peeling back the onion a little bit. Man, why'd you reach out? Oh, dude, no worries. You came to us for a good reason. All this pressure off. And then when it's time, it's like, well, dude, you put the pressure back on. What if we got on a Zoom call and like talk these things out? Like, it sounds like you want to work with us. Don't stand in people's way. A lot of times we, as salespeople, we underestimate how much people like to buy stuff. People love to buy. Nobody likes to be sold, but people love to buy. So if I'm selling, I'm not going in there to sell them. I'm going in there to tell them that this is what it is, and then they're going to buy it. I don't need any word tracks. It's just like, hey, this is what we do. It's ABC, So there's a whole process with like actually running the sales call, and that's a whole thing. But just making sure you get enough at bats and book enough meetings. Every company needs three things to be successful. They need to be able to book meetings, close those meetings, and fulfill the service. And I've added on to that, excuse me, I've added on to that, fulfill the service. You need to be able to turn a stranger into a customer for life. If my customers aren't sending referrals, my business is messed up. Why aren't they sending referrals? Unless I'm doing so good that they don't want anybody else to know because I'm like their best kept secret, your customers should be sending referrals. You should be getting video testimonials on a bi-weekly basis at minimum. Depending on your volume, you can, look at those numbers differently, but you should be getting video testimonials. Not necessarily where somebody's got to stand there and do this for you. Maybe that's a once a month, you get a couple of those things. But you should be always like your clients should be bringing in more clients, should be telling you how awesome things are, should be leaving reviews. And if that's happening, then the backside of booking meetings and closing the meetings is going to be a lot easier. Well, I've worked with so many businesses and they're like, they want to do marketing, they want to grow their business, but literally they need to I don't know any other way to say it. They need like a come to Jesus moment with the fact that nobody wants to buy from them because they're like I don't want to say low quality because nobody's low quality. We're all like equal in my opinion, but like they're like a low vibe. It's like, bro, you're kind of like, you're not like taking great care of yourself. Like, if I can't respect you, I'm never going to buy anything from you. So that's why, like, as a salesperson or as a appointment setter, as a leader, you got to be in love with yourself and you got to take care of yourself in order to take care of somebody else. Right. So, sometimes people just don't have a Bible business. Like, it could be just like a tone thing. Like I grew up, like I came up in this business working with car dealerships, and I can't tell you how many I had to like, not close because I'm just like, dude, I would never buy a car from you, and I would never want to lead anybody to buy a car from you. And little did I know when I first started in this industry that there would actually be a lot of people in the same business that were ethical, that were good guys, that were entrepreneurs that I learned from, that really set their business up in a good way. And those are the people that I would close, and those are the people that I'd buy from, versus the guy that's like severely, whatever. I'm not going to cast my judgments or anything, but overall, like you got to look at things objectively and say, well, if you got body odor, I don't want to sit by you. Like it's not a personal thing, but it's just, you got to be able to, take care of yourself. You got to be able to look presentable. Like that's the whole thing with sales. Like, if you work on yourself, you make yourself more attractive, you're going to make more money. Like that's just how people work. And a lot of people don't like to accept that truth. But it is a thing. Like so I think that's important, but also it's not the determining factor. It's all about the energy you carry and who you are as a person. But those things matter a lot. Like people are like, I believe we're really tuned in with things, and like you can be talking to somebody, you could just feel it. And so if somebody's got a bad intention, like I've worked with people and they're like, I just want to sell these. I'm going to sell them for 25,000. And it starts to be like a thing. They just want to make money, and there's no serving in there. And it's like, bro, nobody wants to buy that. Like you got to start with how I'm helping, how I'm serving, how I'm changing somebody's life. Right. So common challenges that you're going to see with speed to lead is you're going to see leads sitting stalled and unattended to before being routed to a rep to follow up, especially with after hours leads that come in. So the best way to do it is you have a spread and you got an after hours guy that's working. Like he works like 4 p.m. to like 9:30 p.m. Like you don't want to be calling people all through the night. We've done it before. I've literally had teams where we did the 5-minute rule. all the time, but it was just weird. I didn't like it. It was just a different vibe. So, but yeah, you need to have a guy that's like in that evening time, like 4 p.m. to 8:30, 9 p.m. because that's like the prime time when people are going to be out and about on their phones signing up for leads and actually have the space to make a decision. This is also like a thing I see all the time is okay, you work a 9 to 5 business hours, and these other people work a 9 to 5 business hours. They apply for your business after hours. You call them during work hours. They're at work too, and then you think that's a bad lead, and it's like, no, they just got busy. Like they're a mom, they're a dad, they got in a fight with somebody, their spouse or whatever it is. So people take it so personally when somebody doesn't respond. But actually, they found out that if you don't get in touch with somebody within the first day of them coming in, it takes 5 to 6 phone calls over a period of 7 days in order to get that person to come into your business. And it's not because they don't want to. They filled out the lead form, they put in all the information, and they really did that. Okay. They saw it was your page, they actually put their information, they checked the box. That happened. Okay. Some people act like that didn't happen. That happened for sure. And then they got busy. They went to their work. They went to their job. They went about their day. You called them. It was the wrong timing. Now, like, it's not a personal thing and people take it personally. But I think it sucks to have to call people 5 to 6 times. It feels like they must not be interested. Actually, it's not the case. It's just that they get super busy. And that's why we stress the importance of switching your whole model to a 5 minute follow up or a 1 minute follow up. And then to re engage the old leads that came in, we like to leverage text message blasting and actually blasting these leads with text message. And that's going to get people to show up and raise their hand and say, yes, I'm still interested. And then that's when we restart the minute timer. Like they say, yes, I'm interested via text. They're already an old lead. That resets the 1 minute, 5 minute timer. It's like, we got to call that person right away. Okay, so um, make sure like these are the basic things. Make sure that leads are not misrouted within the organization. Like submit test leads and make sure that they're going to the right person and that you have notifications turned on for that person. And if you can work out some kind of system of accountability with leads, that's great. Sometimes leads lack sufficient contextual information, resulting in a need for research and or triage the leads for data. So if you're only getting name, email, phone number, it's so hard, like especially if you're getting cheap leads, to know like which ones to tackle first and how to go about it. So it's better to ask like if you're getting really cheap leads, ask a couple qualifiers like job title. If you're in the business to business space, then you might ask like company name and website. All these things help tremendously in being able to look at a lead and say, okay, this is a high intent lead versus this is maybe somebody playing around. But you can't take leads on the surface level. The other day I had a company and they're like, oh yeah, we see that a lot of these people are coming through as leads, but they don't have company emails. They've got Gmails. And I'm like, yeah, same. Like I'm pretty qualified for most things, and I fill everything out with like my third grade Gmail or iCloud or whatever because I don't want all the subscribers inside of my business company email. So they weren't calling the leads because they thought they were bad because they didn't have company emails. And really, it's like no, like I've had people reach out and they have the weirdest name and they have the weirdest looking information, and then they actually end up being a deal. So. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, and then after the leads are correctly routed, the sales rep delays in following up. So this is super important to make sure that they actually follow up. And yeah, that's why people are doing like AI callers these days because they can't get their guys to just follow up at the right time in the right place and do what they're supposed to do. So I don't like the AI caller thing. I'm completely opposed to it in most situations. But I get it why people would want to do that because it's just so much manpower, so much labor, but the reward, the payoff is immense. And also, like you got to consider too, the skills are trained and grown through volume and repetition and actually doing the activity. And so to grow your skills, you have to do more reps. So sometimes these appointment setters, like I mean, we got to give them time to get like the pitch down and how they want to talk to people and everything, and that's going to come through volume. So if they make 5 calls and like, oh, this isn't really for me, they're literally only getting started. So have strong accountability metrics and requiring your people to, work these leads. So here's what we like to do. We automate by using the solutions that provide predictable results in terms of lead delivery. So if you're working with us, your lead response should be instant. Okay, your leads should come right into your CRM. We automate the process of answering FAQs by building them into your emails and texts and on the web page and things like that to help indoctrinate people. Or we might send them to a free training via email so that they can go watch more stuff. They say that if somebody watches 7 hours of your content within 7 days, they're pretty much like a closed deal for you with whatever offer that you want to sell them. If it logistically aligns with their pocketbook and their timelines and their needs and wants, if they're consuming 7 hours of your content, whenever somebody calls them, they're probably going to buy whatever's sold to them if they can afford it. Like that's just there's like this psychological thing behind, I guess, indoctrination, you could call it. Maybe I'd think of a nicer way to describe that, but you teach people about your way of thinking and you bring them into your world and you get them to listen to you and understand, and I mean, like even the top level people, like, I don't know if you guys know Ty Lopez or follow him, but I just did a podcast with him at the end of last year. And his thing was like, like people people come in and they tell you a lot about who they are when they first respond to you. And like you can, and when you first listen to somebody, you can tell a lot about them. So what he said he'll do is if he's looking at a coach or he's looking at an employee, if they don't have like any 1 hour talks anywhere that he can listen to, he won't work with them. But if he can find like even a podcast that they did, like he said that he went and found my stuff and just listened to me talk before we did the podcast because he just would throw this on while he's at the gym and listen to the person talk for 30 minutes. Like you could tell a lot about a person there. So in your sales process, to help elevate your appointment setters, your sales team, make sure that the creator that you work with, so for you guys like Certified Health Nut, make sure that you've got some stuff that's pre-recorded that you can send those people that you can get them to watch, and that's just going to help nurture the cycle even more. That's why people love these school communities because it's a way where you can have a Zoom option where people can get on Zoom. You can have the classroom where people can become indoctrinated with your material, and you have the community where they can engage and ask questions. Plus, you have the DM feature and the leaderboard, which gamifies everything. That's why people love school. So, yeah, automate conversations. That's like text and email. We do that for you guys automatically. And then representative response. This is super important. You have to deploy response solutions that automatically respond to leads when they're ready to talk. So making sure you got people on staff, on call, ready to go. If you're not already using like the mobile app for Go High Level, it's called Lead Connector. They should have the mobile app and they should be able to work leads on the go. You can send pictures through, you can do calls, everything. And it's a really good way to see when a lead first comes in. Like I get these notifications all the time from Lead Connector and from High Level, and it's just like super helpful. And they can be customized too. So if one person on your team isn't getting a certain notification that you think they should be getting, just let us know because we can custom tailor those. So that is speed to lead and making sure that no lead slips through the cracks. This is one of the first steps in having an amazing sales system, amazing sales process, and a really high response rate from your leads. And plus, if you don't close a lot of the people that you call and you call them within 5 minutes, you're building a lot of good faith and a good reputation for your company as one that follows up. Would you rather be the company that follows up too much or doesn't follow up at all? I know which bucket I'd rather be in. Okay, so guys, we got about 8 minutes here. Does anybody have any questions, anything that they want to ask, anything that they want to cover before we end our time here today?
I just want to say thank you. This has been amazing. So much inspiration and so many things to implement right away. So, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be questions, but I'll process this. But hey, maybe you guys have some questions.
My pleasure, man. I'm so glad that you guys got the value. That's why we were sitting around with Dylan and we were like, man, what can we do? And we were talking about like, should we bring in salespeople into these organizations? Should we staff up these appointment setters ourselves? And we're just like, man, that sounds like like a whole different business. And we're like, well, why don't we just tell them what's worked for us? And so I got a lot of stuff like this, guys. Like we haven't even really got into the sauce of it. And I close. I'm gonna bring my desk down a little bit, but I close. There's only one deal this year so far that's been a two call close for me. And then there's been two deals that didn't close at all. They probably will still, but they're like dragging their feet. And aside from that, like I one call close all the time. So you guys are gonna learn about my one call close framework and how you actually leverage time and people's intrinsic desire to not waste time. And you seed this in their mind and you get them to see that they've been wasting time all along. And that's why they need to take action today, right now. And we're done wasting time. You said you wanted this thing. You said you wanted to make a change. You said you wanted to make a commitment. I'm going to help you make that decision today. So I'm going to teach you guys about that. We'll get into that a little bit more on our next call. And sometimes these can be a little bit more dynamic where I might be calling some of the leads for you just to show for examples or, all sorts of fun stuff. Like one time we did sour gummy worms. We ate like the most sour gummy worms you could find and then started doing appointment setting. And every call that you didn't hit, you had to eat another one. My friends have done shots before. I'm not a drinker, but my friends would do, if you miss a call, you do shots. So they're like calling after a while, they're like, hello, I'm just like wanted to follow up with you. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. So then they switched to hot wings. And if you didn't book a call, but the other person did, you had to eat a super hot wing, make a call. So these are fun things that you could do around the office. You can gamify it. Like you should gamify depending on where somebody's at. Like if they're an appointment setter, then they should be incentivized for whatever their close is. Like it's very important to note that an appointment setter is not a closer and they're not trying to close the sale at all. They're trying to close the appointment. So you have to know what sale is needed to be made. So if I'm on a call and there's a really important decision maker that's not on the call, I'm not selling my service on that call. I'm selling the guy that's in front of me to bring the decision maker in. Okay, so the sale that needs to be made is I need to make a little alliance with this guy so that he'll go and bring his partner in. And then I got to explain to him, like, hey, man, like, I need you guys both here. Just like, this is a really important decision. And last thing that I want to have happen is that I explain it to you and then you go explain it to him and like how much of it like is going to be the same and maybe like Cliff Notes, Spark Notes version. Like, have you ever played that game Telephone? Right. So what I'd prefer to do is like, do you like this? Like, does this seem like what you were looking for? Okay, cool, perfect. Well, if that's the case, then let's do this. Let's get your partner on tomorrow and let's go into all the details together because last thing I want to have happen is we get off the call today, I explain everything to you, and then we bring back your partner and I explain everything to him too. And the last thing that I want to do is waste mine or your time having to go back and do things over and over. So these things work really well. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you close more, sometimes you close less, but nobody closes anything with a bad offer. So I'll give you guys in the next 4 minutes, like one thing to consider, four things that your offer should have whenever you're selling it. Okay. It should be easy, should be simple, should be instant. And there's one more: easy, simple, instant, and fun and fun. Okay. If your offer hits all these four things, fun, easy, instant, simple, then it's gonna sell really well. If it hits all four, you have like a multi-million dollar company. If it hits two out of four, you're still gonna be successful, but you're gonna struggle. If it hits one out of four only, like you really need to work on your offer because you're gonna be constantly in an uphill battle. So this is something that we use to look at offers. So think about it. Like think about it from like a weight loss example. So um, how fun is it to get in shape by going to the gym? Like if I need to get in shape and the mechanism, like the offer, uh, like I'm looking at the different way that I can get in shape. So I got one guy that's trying to sell me a gym membership. I got a doctor who's trying to sell me liposuction, and then I got like Ozempic over here. And so when I evaluate this, it's like going to the gym. Is that fun? Not really, and especially not for beginners. Is it simple? Not at all. They say I gotta track my calories and like whatever else. Is it easy? Definitely not. It's like not easy to walk through that door, especially if you're somebody that is concerned with your weight, you want to like get in shape. Like that's not easy. And is it instant? Not even close to instant. It's like the most delayed gratifying thing ever. And of course, delayed gratification is like better. It's like the way that life should be. It's like the more natural thing, but we're not in that society. We're in a instant gratification society. So when you do marketing, you need to make sure that you're instantly gratification. So then liposuction, is it easy? Not really. It's not really easy to go under and have a surgery. It's pretty scary, actually. Is it simple? Yeah, it's pretty simple. You're going to put me under and I'm going to lose my fat. Is it instant? Yes, it is instant. And is it fun? Probably not fun. But that one is huge because it fits 2 out of 4. So people do that all the time. Okay, now let's go to Ozempic. Is it easy? Super easy. Just a poke a day. Is it simple? Very simple. I just get this tube, I poke it, I lose weight. Is it fun? You wouldn't think it's fun, but the way that they've branded it with celebrities and stuff has made it have like this fun vibe to it. And is it instant? Yeah, you get it shipped to your house, you start using it. And so, what brand do we see blowing up right now? We don't see like people like going on this crazy thing about how the gym membership just like got them back in shape, even though that's what they actually need. These other companies have like a better mechanism for marketing. And it's not to say that you need to re-engineer your thing completely, but just find ways that your thing is fun. Find ways that it's simple, find ways that it's instantly gratifying, and find ways that it's easy for people to use. So if you do those things, you'll have a lot more success with selling. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then go ahead and check out this playlist that I'm going to drop over here, and you can watch other videos just like it, and make sure to connect with us on Instagram, social media, whatever platform of choice you have, and I'll see you over there.